Live from Crawford Studios,
it's CC and NJ Guy.
Woohoo!
Welcome back.
What's everybody doing? How's everything going?
Excelente this weekend, bro.
How's the weekend going?
So far, so good. Had a
we're
good
doing,
full day yesterday.
We're usually recording Friday nights. We're here Sunday. We're doing Sunday brunch.
Easy like a Sunday morning.
We're going to have some Bloody Marys, mimosas.
Yes.
Have some coffee and donuts.
Yes. Coffee and donuts. Yeah, I just
we're going to have some weird things like, like pesto in our toast or some weird stuff that brunch places.
This guy. Yo, we should have you cook on this one day. We have a hot plate over here.
Nice.
Ooh, it'd be fun. A cooking episode.
Pardon me, do you have any Grey
Poupon? It's not a bad idea. We should have a cooking one.
I'm just saying,
We'll have to move the studio into the kitchen or something.
We could do that easy.
Yeah, bro.
Anyway,
yes.
What's going on for our topics today?
So, what we're doing today is it's not one topic. We got 3 topics we're covering, right? So first, we're going locally in Pennsylvania. There's a story that developed at the end of last year into this year about a grave robber. But this grave robber wasn't just robbing for goods. He was robbing for some loving.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
Selling some
Money.
shit.
Yeah. So, we'll talk about that.
Crazy.
It's a little bizarre story. So you can kind of guess where that's going to be going.
Yeah.
And, we mentioned in our previous episode, we kind of mentioned Stranger Things. It's a show we love.
Right.
We love to talk about pop culture. We love to talk about TV, sci-fi, horror. So this is right up our alley. And we're just going to recap the series, our favorite things, like maybe some fan reactions, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we are going to change gears a little bit. We're going to get into a little more serious topic, which is euthanasia, pet loss, stuff like that. So we're going to talk about that. Anyway, So let's dive into this wild story about the grave robber.
Yes.
So Lou has the article right here now. He's going to give you a little recap for those who don't know what's happening, but you will find out.
Yeah, for those who didn't hear about this. Yeah. Where'd you get that from, Lou? What was the...
It's Channel 2.
Okay.
Well, it's CBS.
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 Got it.
CBS.
I know. CBS News,
Right.
according to
CBS FM.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The local man arrested for allegedly stealing human remains from Philadelphia area cemetery and storing them in his Ephrata home. So he's from Ephrata home. Also,
Philly.
Is that a suburb of Philly?
It must be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Selling some of the remains according to search warrants. Jonathan Gerlich, 34, now behind bars, facing more than 500 charges after detectives discovered the remains, including more than 100 skulls, inside the home of the 100 block of Washington Avenue in Ephrata, Pennsylvania, on Wednesday.
Jesus.
Obtained search warrants Search Friday reveal more about how authorities were able to identify Gerlich as a suspect, along with what was found inside his home and a storage facility.
Dude.
He ran out of room, bro.
Yo, seriously. Holy
During
fuck.
searches earlier this week, what he was doing with the stolen remains. Detectives have already been investigating reports of burglary. I'm not going to even try again. From Pennsylvania cemeteries, when on December 23rd, 2025, a tip was submitted in Lancaster City Police Department. Crime suggesting detectives look into Gerlich as a suspect in connection to the mausoleum robbery in Luzerne County. Tipsters told police they know someone who recently had been in his house and found a partially decomposed corpse hanging in his basement.
Oh, shit. Hanging in the basement.
Yes.
That's bad.
Bro, you see what I'm saying?
And it's also understood that I think he was also trying to sell some of this stuff.
Yeah, as you said in the beginning, yeah. So he's trying to, so like you said, Tom, that's probably how he got busted.
Yeah.
That's how he got caught, trying to sell them. And somebody, went to the house. Because, you're not letting nobody in your house if you're doing that kind of crazy shit,
Yeah, but then that shows how fucking crazy you are. Because if you think what you're doing is normal and you're just letting people walk into your house nonchalant and take them in the basement where you have corpses in,
right?
Yeah, you're feeling like, hey, it was kind of like the Ed Gein story.
Right.
He felt like he did nothing wrong.
You know what?
Yeah.
This was normal.
Right.
I'm going to say that this guy has probably been doing this for
I would imagine so.
Very long time, because he got so comfortable to the point where, like, oh yeah, come down the basement, check it out. I got some bodies down here. He's so.
But that goes. But see, I don't know, man, because again, so this is like before we started the show, like we said, we were talking about just like how long was he really doing it? Because not for nothing, you go to almost any given cemetery, a newer cemetery,
Right.
and you're looking at what 100. You still got 100 bodies there. However old they would be or whatever would be another story. But because of depending on what it was he was doing with the bodies, you know what I'm saying, selling the bones or whatever, newly deceased, digging up the bodies to do dirty things to, because we were talking about, he said it, necrophilia.
Well, check this out. So check this out real quick. The search warrant also reveals Gerlich had allegedly stolen items like headlamps, gloves, a metal cutting wheel, along with other items detectives said were commonly used in burglaries from local hardware stores. The tips are directed to Detective Gerlich's Instagram account, which follows other accounts in taxidermy, skeleton collecting, and sales. And the sale of other oddities. The tips also claimed Gerlich had disappeared for a few days in November and said he had been in Chicago selling human skulls.
Well, there it is. So then maybe he wasn't. But then so he wasn't sexing them. He was just cutting them up to sell oddities.
But why were they?
I'm sure more's going to come out. We don't know that for sure. But
I thought I heard that in the news that he was.
I thought so too. I thought I heard the same thing as well.
Okay, I didn't hear. I didn't pay attention.
But you are right. Until we actually officially hear it and they have everything out.
Maybe it's speculative.
Right.
Just the fact that he didn't even have to do that. You know what I'm saying? That would like be a fucking bonus fucking shit. As far as, sick people are concerned.
Bonus.
Yeah.
bonus boner.
in a sick way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, let's add a bonus to it right now. He was also paying.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But hey, baby, how you doing?
But the thing is like, what drives someone to do that? Like, what is it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand.
Well, but again, so let's just say for this conversation that it was a thing that he did. I don't want to say subconscious, but he never had the real oomph to do it. Like he was like nervous and whatnot. Then, like we said, and I'm not blaming the show for it or any other show for it, but now he sees that show, the Ed Gein story, Monster, the Ed Gein story, right?
Yeah.
Now he's like, what? Because on the show, they showed, because he was in what was it? Ed Gein was in the 1930s, something like that. So that then now you're looking at all of the serial killers that came after him, that they all were like, Ed Gein, he's the man, like because of him and the stories of this or whatever. Right. So that then they did it. So now every serial killer after that has now used every serial killer before them. You know what I mean? As like the example. And, we all have sat and, we sit thinking about something that somebody else did that we want to do. Not saying that we all sitting here thinking about how to bury a body or whatever, but what it is that we're going to do not to get caught or to just make it run smooth or to make sure that, the machine doesn't stop working, whatever it is, because of stuff that we've done in the past. So then if he watched this show, because he had, he was a little bit off, then now he's like, yo, I can do it and I'm going to do it like this and not get caught because I'm not going to do what they did before me.
But he already blew that out of the water when he was going to places and selling them and then selling them online. So
that's where it got ballsy.
True.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But because it's oddities. Remember back in the day in Coney Island, or Ripley's Believe It or Not, you would see, these oddities. This is the hand of the witch.
But they weren't stealing from fucking graves, bro. They were getting them from museums and other places where they could use them.
But this guy was probably saying, I need that money. I don't mind digging up a body and making it look like a mummy, and I'm just going to do it this way instead of going to the, robbing shit at the museum. You feel me?
But still, and the whole idea of the fact, too, is like, probably like Ed Gein's, his mind, he's thinking, this is a normal thing, because to him, there's nothing what he's doing, because the way they portrayed it in the story of Ed Gein, it was kind of like, even when the cops showed up at his house and shit happened, obviously it was on movie and they had to dramatize it, I'm sure. But, like, what's the problem? What's going on?
Yeah, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't hurt anybody. The bodies were already in the grave.
Yeah, all I did was it's just it's like a hobby.
Yeah, it's a hobby. Yeah, meanwhile, he was drinking out of the fucking skull. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was eating
his
cereal.
Favorite bowl,
yeah, his fucking cereal.
Cereal out of that guy.
Yeah, you said you didn't see it, right?
No.
Bro, man.
So you're talking about Ed Gein. You're not.
Yeah, we're talking about Ed Gein. Yeah.
I'm using this as a
reference back and forth.
There's a lot of similarities to this.
Yes.
Because, and I'm sure he saw that.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sure he saw that.
Yeah.
And he was a fan of it. And he said he's been on several different sites selling stuff and groups that are into this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? And also, hold on a second.
I'm sure there's big money in human remains.
There are,
This
bro.
is what they found. Check it out.
Go ahead.
This is what they found. over 100 human skulls, numerous human long bones, mummified human feet and hands,
Yup.
Right.
2 decomposing human torsos,
Right.
other assorted skeleton items. On Wednesday, detectives also Garlic reportedly told them that Garlic had storage locker at KO's storage local.
It's fucking crazy, man.
Oh my God! So he
Yeah.
was storing them. So he obviously he didn't have room in his house.
Well, no.
Or so he was putting them somewhere else. There's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when you start,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I say, listen, if you're starting to run out of room at your house when you're stealing human remains,
yeah.
you gotta get a place to put the
exactly.
Was he
Fucking
looking
A, bro.
it as like a collector though? Like, oh, this is money. I'm banking this shit.
Yeah.
this is
Why? But
money.
why not?
But it's fucking morbid
selling it.
altogether.
Yeah,
regardless.
Oh yeah,
no.
definitely all fucking
But
day.
there is people who actually. I remember watching one of those shows that like of odd things that people do, and there was a guy who would he would buy them online legally, but you could buy like a skull, like a real human skull that was like found, or I don't know how they get them. They're probably cadaver.
What I was going to say,
I'm saying
yeah,
they probably
exactly what I was going to say.
That's probably the
Torsos.
legal way they get them.
Right.
Probably like a medical.
Oh,
what
yeah,
are they-
right, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Yeah.
People donate their bodies to science all the time.
Yeah, right.
You can't. You can't just buy a body.
No.
though.
No, you can't. I'm sure you can't just buy the body, but you
Call
might be
those
able to get
places
the
for science.
Yeah,
Can
check
I,
out Facebook.
buy one? Do you
Facebook.
sell to personal sellers?
and just get that shit.
Right?
Fucking insane, bro. Insane. My God. But you're right. He could, however way that somebody else would be able to get it. You know what I mean? You can make a fucking lamp out of the bone, out of the hand, out of a foot.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Look, that's how Head Gaines was. He was reading those crazy books.
Right.
That girl was bringing him, his
Right.
girlfriend,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call her. She was just as demented as he was.
Right.
She was getting fucking turned on by it.
Yeah, I know.
But he was all about, what's her name in Germany, who was making lampshades and stuff.
Oh,
out of
yeah,
people's
right.
skins
Out
and
of people's skin and whatnot.
So and he
yeah.
was doing it in his house. He had it on his chairs. He was
Right.
doing it and he was leaving the nipples on.
Yes, yes.
So
that was the trademark.
What I want to see is happening, because now that the story is new, it's fresh,
Mhm.
and more information is going to be coming out.
Right.
I like to see when they get everything, what's behind his psychological profile.
Oh, right.
What's
Definitely.
going on. Maybe we'll come back to this again and hit it
Yeah.
again.
You know what?
And we'll go down that road and see, hey,
let's
this is what
recap
was
it.
going
Yeah,
on.
revisit
Hell
it.
yeah.
Hey, I'm down to revisit stuff anytime.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what though? I'm thinking though, if that whole like necrophilia thing ends up not being true, and he's doing it purely for money, now he might not be a sick person. He might just be a highly immoral person.
Right.
You know what
exactly.
I mean? He might be
yes.
like,
Yes.
I don't care. I'm digging up bodies. This is money.
Hell
You
yeah.
know what
it
I mean?
is.
He
It
might-
is,
he
bro.
might- So it could go either ways. It
Yeah.
could be psychologically, or just someone who's just a
Yeah,
terrible
like, yo,
person,
whatever. I'm
has
going to
no
make money off of
morals,
this shit.
and
Yeah.
money is.
I don't know,
He found an
Jersey guy.
easy way to make money.
Yeah. I don't
Well,
know.
with a little bit of sickness,
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
I'm
to dig it up, but
I'm gonna
like,
have to just push back a little bit, only say because even if you're sick enough to think, hey, I can rob graves and make money. Who does that?
But again,
You know what I'm saying, bro?
But what did he
But
see?
that's not normal to begin with. You follow what I'm saying? Just the fact that you're already at that level where you're like, hey, who's going to care? They're dead already. It's not like you're going to miss them.
But see, now we're going to go back to, a couple of episodes back when we said different cultures believe and are okay with certain things. So that then if it, I'm not saying it was his family, but it's like, it's whatever, we're going to, like I said,
But
make
we're
a
gonna
lamp
find
out of
out.
that. Yeah, we'll dig into this a little bit more.
Because more information is going to come out. For
Yeah,
sure. And we're
definitely.
gonna find
So
out
here's
for
a
sure.
question.
Uh-huh.
If you could write in the comments, anybody watching this video, tell me if you think that if someone's doing this just for money, are they immoral and sick, or
Yeah, that's
just one or the other? Are they just immoral?
Or they're just demented.
They're just
and,
sleazy.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm curious what people think. I want
I
what
don't
people
know.
think.
You got to believe what
I
Lou
wanna
says
see-
now. He's like,
I
they're
wanna
just
hear.
demented. Like, he's over, bro.
Yeah.
He's gone. It's
That's
over.
it.
Yeah.
There's
no line for
There's
me
no
on this
line.
one, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, I feel you. I hear you,
But
brother.
no, but I get it. But you're right, because everybody thinks differently, and I'm curious to see what other people say. So please do go to the comments on YouTube,
Right.
and you'll see it, and we want to know for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because that's
So-
freaking funny as hell, bro. Well, it's not funny that he was doing it.
No,
It's just
no,
funny,
but-
like, how, it's
It's
not
going to
funny,
be
haha,
curious.
but
It's going to be curious
Yeah.
to see what other people think. because
Exactly.
everybody has a different way of looking at things.
yeah.
So I'm curious to see what happens.
Yep. Because I would love to hear what his psyche is. I'm not going to lie,
Oh,
bro.
yeah, no, me too.
I would love to
I
hear
want to know what's
his,
going on there, because
yeah.
this looks like another TV movie on Netflix.
Dude, yeah.
Happen.
Yeah, well, it might be just a half-hour show because,
maybe. Well, they can break it down into this, but
episodes, yeah.
yeah.
That's freaking insane, bro. That's that crazy shit, bro. Like, hello, 2026.
Hey.
The shit is
I know
fucking
this
bananas.
year's starting a little crazy. You know what, though? I will say this, not to digress too far, but I think if the year starts out crazy, then maybe the rest of the year will be good. Get the craziness out.
Yeah, get
maybe
it out
there's
early.
There's a little bit of
I hope you're right.
chaos. Maybe there's just they give you a certain amount of chaos points a year. So if you get the chaos points out in the beginning of the year, then the end of the year is going to be good. But if the year starts out good or non-eventful,
Right.
You might get the chaos points are getting used later in the
year. It's going to
year.
be a roller coaster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely a roller coaster.
It's going to be a roller coaster.
Yeah, you might be right, though, Tom. I'm with you.
Let's
I
get the
feel
chaos
you.
out
I'm hearing
early.
you. Get it
Let's
out
get it
early. Get it done. You have until February 28th. And after that, we want peace and quiet and calm for the most part for the rest of the year.
I think that would be nice most of the time, but
hell yeah,
we'll
man.
see what happens. It's crazy.
That is great,
but
man.
just the fact that eventually somebody's going to catch you. You know what I mean? I mean, because he was getting brazen to the point where he was actually going and selling this shit.
Yeah.
And then doing it online, and then he's on these groups. So they said his whole internet account, all his online stuff was flooded with all that stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, he was just groups and whatever he was following and selling them. And, and I'm thinking, what? How the fuck could you even sell these things online? I mean, that's the thing I'm curious about, because wouldn't that be flagged? You know how, you can't do certain things on social media. You can't say certain words, right? Mm-hmm. Or mention certain things. You have to say it in a way where it's not going to get you kicked off, right? Social media. Would it be the same thing for the groups that you're doing it on and everything like that, where if red flag comes up, they'll say, hey, by the way, somebody said so-and-so.
Right. Well, two things.
Usually groups that say, oh, you can't say this, you can't say that, or you get kicked out.
We're going to look at this two ways, okay? So one, you're looking at, and you know what I'm saying, that you have where you would use the code words. You know what I'm saying? So then you're not going to say, official human skull. You know what I'm saying? Just human skull replica is what you would really say. You know what I'm saying? Cut it like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or you'd be on the dark web.
Yeah.
Right. Because on the dark web, it's there you could put pretty much whatever. And now it's a matter of, the proper authorities to turn around and flag, and catch those things that pop up, because on the dark web, they can't track like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're just looking and then tapping into your, into whatever it was that you would tagged in, or wherever they saw those words come up and get in, because there's all type of everything going on in the dark web. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. Him getting caught that way.
Well, somebody saw him, and then they found the stuff in the house.
Yeah.
And it was reported already because they were burglars, so it was just a little bit at a time. They chipped away at it, and they found this guy, and then and they said he admitted to everything.
Yeah,
he didn't he did. He did.
Yeah,
he wasn't like, no, that wasn't me.
Yeah, that wasn't me. What are you talking about? No, it was my roommate. It was my roommate. He did it. Yeah, my roommate did it. I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
Mom, was this you, Mom?
You found what in my house?
Yeah, what?
Well, I was just there 5 minutes ago.
Yep, exactly, bro. Freaking hilarious.
I just left. I was going to get some
milk.
Yeah,
I left to go get some milk. I came back and the shit was all over here. I thought it was fake. Yeah, my friend Billy did it. Tom, you're off, Tom.
Is the timer going on there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just double checking. Sorry.
No.
My screen.
Yeah, clean is going. Yeah. All right. So,
that's right.
Yeah, right.
Back to reality.
Yes. Back to reality. Eminem.
I was thinking back to life.
So. Yeah.
You're talking.
Yes.
So what else have we got going on, man?
So, from real life horror to fictional horror, there are stranger things happening than this
that's right.
event.
Strange
and that
things.
Is the segue. We're going to talk about Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So the show had just finished, and we're all fans of horror and sci-fi. So this kind of lands right in our our favorite stuff.
Yeah, one of our cool little stuff. Geek moment.
The show finished, and I think overall it was a great show. The only downside to the show, I think, is because it takes so long to make, is the seasons were so far apart.
Yeah,
they were.
Yeah,
and they had to purposely do timeline jumps because the kids kept getting older.
Yeah, right.
They started out as kids.
Right.
They finished graduating high
adults.
school.
Yeah.
They were
right. Yeah, preteens and fair, and a couple of them had already graduated. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So what is everybody's overall thoughts on the ending anyway?
And
by the way, spoiler alerts, if you haven't watched it yet,
Yeah,
I
sorry.
had like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Or, there'll be chapter mark.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But so for me, I binged it, so I didn't have the gaps.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So I just
yeah.
for me, it was just a matter of after Thanksgiving to then, wait for the Christmas episodes and then for the New Year's episodes.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It was like bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
I dug the ending, but now there's so many things that are popping up on social media, with what people believe how the ending should be, that there's going to be, sequel, prequel kind of stuff and, independent stories and whatnot.
Right.
Well, they could branch off in different directions.
Right.
With it.
Stuff like that.
I said the same thing at the end when I was watching.
For me, I don't think so. I think it was a good ending,
They
bro.
tightened everything up.
I believe that they did.
Except for when they talked about, what's her name?
Elle.
Right. Supposedly going through that trap door, getting out of there, and then leaving and it just disappearing and living somewhere else on the planet.
Right. Well, that's what she wanted to do.
Or not the trap door that they said that, like, Callie was still alive in her last.
Right.
Like,
she
was to give her the illusion.
Right. Because she didn't die while they were sitting there with her. Because she said, go.
She said, I'm going to die.
Yeah. She says, I'm going to die. Just go kind of shit. And then that's when Elle left. And then you could see, because when I was watching it, you could see Elle, like her body was like kind of like, right. And I was like, yeah. And that the sound things that were there, those big ass speakers, the sonic things, that she wasn't affected by it.
Oh, you're right. That's right. They didn't affect her. But I thought maybe because she was in the upside down, it didn't transfer.
Right. But it did because when they were in the upside down and they turned them things on, it was messing her up.
Right. So that is the dead.
Well.
That is the dead giveaway.
That was the one. So I knew she wasn't dead. So I just sat back and I watched while wifey and daughter were like, they were all in it. And I'm sitting back and I was like, yeah, I knew she wasn't dead.
It's like a sound cannon, right? It was because they did the same thing in Hulk.
Right.
When they wanted to get him to slow down, they would shoot that out.
Yeah, that was the one with Ed Norton as the Incredible Hulk.
I think they could, if they really wanted to, they could revisit the show like 10 years later.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They could actually physically wait 10 years later and say, hey, you know what? It's 2035.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do a spin-off series that takes place in the 90s or late 90s now.
And then fast forward them to that.
Fast forward like 1999, 2000.
Where they are now, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
They find, Elle finds them and because
look at what happened. When Elle, I forgot what season it was, second one, I guess was, that Hopper, he was the only one that knew she was alive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, maybe she does know.
And they destroyed the upside down, right? But they didn't destroy the dimension that Vecna and the spider creature were.
Right. I don't know what
is that the right
the
side
wormhole is what they broke.
Yeah. So
they didn't destroy anymore. Right. So there's no connection. So they didn't destroy
the dimension or
that area, that space, that part of space, what they want to call it. They just cut out the bridge to go from there to here.
They could spin it off and be like, well, Vecna wasn't dead. He was just very wounded.
Well, I don't know. Because Joyce cut his head off.
Rolling around on the floor. Yeah, it was just,
Yeah, we don't know how the powers of him.
Right, we don't know what Vecna's powers were. Right. We don't know what
Can you regenerate years later?
Right. Was it really his body that they did? Or was it?
Yeah, like.
You know what I mean? Like, was it really his head they cut off? Or she just cut off like what she presumed was his head? Because of how his body had turned into.
You're already going in different directions.
Yeah. We could.
So
I'm just saying, though, I just feel that it was a great ending. There's no need to revisit it.
It was good.
No. I think it was boom. It finished. It finished. I think it's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a good series. I like the way they went about it and everything.
Yeah.
I didn't do what you did. I didn't binge that one. That was one of the series we did. We watched it. We watched the first couple of seasons because we weren't watching it, and then we were caught up. And then we just kept following it as each season came out.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So we did have to wait until it came out.
So now you're like,
what?
Yeah. So it was,
let's talk about let's go. Who's your favorite character, Kenny?
What? Marty? The guy, the dude that kept coming in bringing the stuff.
Oh, the guy
with the glasses.
Oh,
Snooki, that guy. Yeah.
He is.
Okay,
Murray. Murray was my first. He was my favorite from when he came in
from the beginning.
Because
what about when he was doing the karate when he was on the plane? Because he learned all that shit. He was kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah, he learned it like off of a book and shit.
No, he was in classes with little kids.
Well, I'm saying, like, it was like if he learned it off of a book. Like, it was like that kind of like, like you said, he was with little kids. So it was more like.
But he knew it. He knew how to do it, bro.
Freaking great. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I loved when he was like, hey, come here, Snickums. Come here, get over here and get this done. Yeah. Yeah. That was my favorite. Why? Who was yours?
Me? I'm going to say, after watching that series, I fucking love the entire Wheeler family. They are all fucking badasses.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Yeah. That is true.
Man, we don't really get to see the dad be too much of a badass.
No, he punked out a little bit, a lot of his stuff. You know what I mean? In all honesty, that was the only one
all
that
the
was
badassery comes from the mom side of the family.
Exactly. Yeah, because you had Nancy.
She was stabbing the Demogorgon with a broken
hell yeah,
bottle.
she was, bro. She went at it, too. I thought she was dead.
Yeah, me too.
I thought she was
liked the
dead.
dad. Because,
and then she was,
because he had some traumatic stuff in his life already. And that's why he was so close to Elle, and he didn't want to lose her. And that's
you mean Hopper? No, we're talking about
I'm talking about the Wheeler family.
My bad.
Yeah. Like so you said the dad. I was like, the dad.
That was
Hopper was your favorite. Okay, that makes sense.
Hopper.
Yeah.
I like what he was trying to do, but it was just more out of being because he cared for her and he didn't want to.
Yes,
he didn't want to lose her.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite. So the Wheelers. One of my favorite scene is when. What's her name? Who's the redhead? Their name's
the redhead.
I'll tip my tongue. The one that was
the radio station host.
Oh, she was in. Oh my God! It's on that tip of my tongue.
Anyway, I know
which one. But go ahead.
Anyway, when like her and Holly Wheeler are like trying to, Holly Wheeler's investigating.
Oh,
Max. Yeah, Max and Holly are trying to find, what's going on in this desert.
Right.
And she's like, never mind. She goes, you aren't like Mike. You are Mike.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop laughing at that scene because you know what? It's true. She's the same way. She's like, no, we're doing this. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, right.
We're going
to make it happen. Yeah. Mike started to annoy me every once in a while, I mean, maybe because of, and I bugged out because of how I get hard-headed. I don't want to say disobedient, but just like these kids just kept questioning everything that the parents or the adults were saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, but it's like at least give them a okay.
Right.
And then sneak out the thing.
Yeah.
They're sitting there officially yelling back, no, it can't happen. I'm like, you little mother, get the fuck out of here.
It'd be so much easier if he just lied. And
shut up. And then go sneak out and go and do it,
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. That was the only thing that I was like,
the hard way.
Yeah. That was the only thing I was like, yo, you little sons of bitches. Like, you would have been punished, like real talk.
Oh, forget it. My parents would have killed me.
Yeah. Now, I will say, though, it was crazy for me how fast they had to let other people in. You know what I mean? So they didn't let any adults in, but it was the whole gang of kids.
Oh, from the whole fourth grade.
Yeah.
It was like the whole fourth grade class.
And they had to let them in. They had to let them know what was going on because of all the sneaking. Because not for nothing, all these little fucking kids were nosy as hell. Well, what do you mean you weren't over there? Like Max, when they first hanging out with Max. Well, I want to know. Mind your damn business.
Right.
Like, you just got to this town.
But they would have found that anyway. Because that's how she worked in school anyway.
It would have been
place.
in. But she wasn't, I guess for me, that she wasn't even trying to be their friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she just wanted to know everything.
Right.
Hold up. I just let you in here. I can't let you know where I buried the bodies. Like, I don't even know you like that. Like, are you a narc? Like, why are you asking so many fucking questions? So that's me.
There's one thing that I do like to say that I love about the show, and they were super clever in doing it because, again, they really worked hard at trying to make the 80s authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things they did that was very smart was they took actors who were famous from the 80s and put them in that show.
Yes.
Winona Ryder. You got, what's his name from the Goonies? He died the second or third season. He was her boyfriend. Remember? What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
I can't think of his name, the actor.
He
was the main character in the Goonies with the...
Yeah. Chunk, but I can't
not Chunk.
Hey, you guys!
No, not that one. The other
Josh Brolin played his older brother.
I can't think of his name.
Mike, kiss me, Mike.
Jesus
Christ.
Anyway, what the fuck is his name? Yeah.
Anyway, you got him, and this season you got Linda Hamilton.
Yes, that would bug me out because when she
I didn't realize it was her at first.
Oh,
I was like,
did.
Wait a sec.
As soon as I saw her, I was like,
I
oh
heard
shit.
her voice. I was like, wait. Boop, boop.
Right.
That was Linda Hamilton because I recognized her with the hair,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what was so cool is because her being that military person, that's her Terminator role.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so then that's
nails in this.
Yeah. And she kept finding them and walking in up on them, and she was
no
there.
coincidence.
Yeah, no, they did it on purpose.
On purpose to anchor people into the era.
Right.
And for me, thing I love about it is that whole fourth grade class. That's how that was my age when that was in that year.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm like, I'm watching the show from that lens. Like, imagine if those kids were my classmates. You know,
that's funny because we're
like,
watching it. And I don't know about you, but I'm looking
I was already a teenager.
Yeah, we were the actual, like, we were Lucas and Will and Mike.
I had a friend growing up that looked just like Derek Turnbow without glasses.
Serious?
He didn't have glasses. That was the only difference. Looked just like him. So it just like that whole era, just like it just puts me into the like I put myself into the show.
Yes.
In a way that really makes it feel like a different kind of experience. I don't know how to describe because I'm like, oh, I was around, and you know it's funny because I'd never been able to do that with shows before because I feel like a lot of shows didn't take place because now they are. But when I was younger, it was like Back to the Future takes place in present day.
Right.
And when they go back in time, it's the 50s. You know,
Yeah,
I wasn't around then. I have no, but like with Stranger Things, I watched it. I go, oh, I was around during that time. I can put myself in it. I feel like I can, and I can go, wow, that looks so accurate in that. Like they're eating a bag of Doritos and it's an old school with the white label.
Yes. Right. But I mean,
I thought the soundtrack was good though too.
The soundtrack was bananas, bro. I'm sitting there singing all the songs.
They had all.
I was singing all them songs.
Even they had Master of Puppets.
Yes,
from the previous season.
Yes, bro. Listen, that show was super nostalgic. I will say with what you're saying now, I'm surprised that the younger kids dug it because it wasn't just like Gen Z, Gen Xers.
Retro's in, man.
Well, look at it
But
this
I'm
way.
just saying that the millennials, the Gen Z, they were like, oh my God, we got to see this.
Well, look at it this way. It was like us when Grease and Happy Days came out when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Towards the 50s, everything was geared towards that. But we loved that shit. We went to the movies to see Grease. We watched Happy Days all our life. Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah.
All of that. And we were attracted to that. So we were in the
true.
same age range when all that was happening.
Yes.
And we grew up through that, right? So
I didn't think about that.
That same thing is happening.
Yeah.
That's how I associate it. You know what I mean? Like each generation.
Yeah. And now you're saying it out loud, that's when I get into my moment because like I said, the youngest child, my daughter, she's like all about thrifting and the retro look and all that other stuff. And I'm like, we wore that shit in the 70s, the bell bottoms, and I'm like, hip huggers and the what they call the tube tops, halter tops, like all these things that the girls are wearing.
Right, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It just creeps its way back in somehow,
Yep. Because even like certain shows, the business, like people dressed up in suits, the guys are wearing shark skin suits and like the shiny and whatnot. The pinstripe now is different kind of pinstripe. Like, so I guess that makes sense that these, the youngins would find it interesting to dig into the archives of the ancient wear gear outfits of the elderly
and stuff. Yeah. Right? And for us, it was the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah, because even the sneakers, bro, all those retro looks are coming back. The Adidas, the Sambas, the Pumas are fucking coming back. Yep, I got
some croquettes.
Yeah,
so.
The Converse, got the Chucks and this, different colors or whatever now. A little bit more comfortable than they used to be. But whatever. The Nikes got the Cortezes that they've been coming back. Those are like the like the skater-looking sneakers now, and that, listen, I'm digging it because it was the shit that, I wore when I was a kid.
Because we grew up then, right?
Right.
So, and now, these kids are jumping on the bandwagon, kind of like we did.
Yeah.
I want to have a question for you guys.
Go for it.
So do you think that they captured the whole Gen X fuck around and find out generation with
I think so.
The latchkey kids? I relate to that too, because like I said, I always explain to people, like, I am a millennial because I was born 81, but I'm also in the Zennial generation, which is that micro generation, which is like in between. So like my first half of my life, my childhood was completely analog, very similar to Gen X. Latchkey kid. I had the fucking key on my around my neck. They did that in the show. Remember the couple kids had the keys around their neck. I had that, but then my teenage years was more digital because that's when the internet kind of spawned, and that's the difference. But so like I relate to it a lot too. Like definitely from my childhood, especially those kids in the fourth grade or whatever. That's around the time.
Right. Well, see, that's the other thing too, though. We watch it and we're like, and say that fuck around and find out.
Right.
These kids don't believe that happened. You know what I'm saying? Like
they
they're
try
still,
to-
It
they're
was
like,
a
no,
different
that was
world
exaggerated. It wasn't really
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You
No,
know,
no,
we're
yeah.
giving those Gen Xers a
Like,
little.
Schools didn't get involved with bullying. Like,
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
you had
right.
to deal with bullies at school,
Yeah.
the teachers,
And
if they
whoop
were
the
there, they
asses.
go, oh, stop it.
Yeah,
But they
man.
wouldn't, like, put you in the principal's office unless shit
really went
not
down.
fucking-
Yeah, unless there
right.
was blood involved.
Yeah,
If half the shit kids today, parents today did what our parents did with us as far as leaving us home. We were allowed to cook. We were watching our brothers.
Yep.
Don't open the door for nobody. The whole thing. You couldn't do that today.
Yeah.
Parents would get arrested.
Yeah.
They really, I'm not,
Yeah.
it's
Because
true.
it's because
They'll bring them up on charges because of man, you know, but
Yeah.
really,
Hell
shut
yeah.
the fuck up.
Bro, so,
You know what I'm
it's kind
saying?
of
Like,
a sidebar.
so you and I are like,
yeah, like whatever. But so remember when you used to be able to, so before caller ID, before
Didn't have
having the
any of
cell
that.
phones or whatever, you would turn around and you would get the obscene phone calls. Remember those?
prank calls.
Right, the prank.
calls.
Well, no. So you turn around and it's like, hello, and you're like, oh, I see you right now.
Right, yeah.
Now,
yeah,
if
yeah.
you're a kid in your house, you're like, who are you? Where are you? Who's this? Yeah, I can hear you screaming from the door. You're like, ah! You're fucking having a panic attack because you can't see who the fuck called you. You know, so you don't even know if it's your friend.
But you're talking about kids today, though.
Kids today wouldn't be able
You and
to
I would be
survive
like,
that.
yo, fuck
right? Yeah,
yourself.
listen. Oh, yeah, I'm sitting here with your mom. That's what I'm fucking doing right now.
Yeah,
you know what I
and your
mean?
moms are hanging
Yeah,
out,
I'm
yo.
smashing her back right now. You little sons of bitch. Get the fuck out of here and hang up the phone, kids. And now I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God.
You know what was
oh my
the thing,
God.
too, that happened before caller ID is you'd have, like, the stalkers who would call and they'd hear your voice and hang up.
Right, yeah,
That
like
was
that kind of
yeah,
shit.
people
Yeah,
used to do back
yeah,
then.
yeah.
It
I just want to
wasn't
make
a
sure you
real
were
thing.
home.
It was
You know what I
stuff.
mean?
No, you'd just be like, hello, click.
Yeah, and they hang up the phone, or they would
Right.
just sit there and be quiet. They wouldn't say shit.
Right.
You know, right? Or doing the
Real
fucking.
weird.
That's
You
what I'm
just hang
saying.
it. Right.
Yeah.
You just
You know, click, hang it up.
It's coming.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. I had a few of those, and I remember one time.
is coming
The
from
fuck,
inside the
I
house.
remember one time my mom,
Just leave
the
the phone off the
call,
hook.
right? Yeah, my mom calls up and I answered the phone and I'm like, Mom, there's some guy, he's breathing hard on the phone and he's talking about he sees us. My mom's like, what? She grabs the phone and she was like, get the fuck off my phone. Like yelled at the guy and slams the phone down. And I was like, what was that? And she's like, somebody being an asshole. If anybody calls like that, you just say fuck you and hang up the phone.
Quick story. This is not even a phone story, but it's that timeline. My mother used to go bowling,
Right,
right? And she was on a women's league, right?
right.
There was a guy going around in the neighborhood flashing people.
Ha! I remember them too. I
This
know
guy
the guys.
came into the bowling alley,
It happens.
and because they said they was coming in the bowling alley and he would run out.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
So my
yeah.
mother,
Naked
my mother
underneath the
started
trench
laughing
coat,
at
right?
it. She pointed at him and started laughing, and the guy fucking ran out.
Yeah,
That's
ran
the-
out.
That's how you know.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, dude, yeah.
Oh my
Because
God, I
I
gotta
mean,
get the hell out of here.
do you even hear about that anymore? No, you don't even hear about anybody
If you do,
flashing.
That's not the big news.
No, you're right.
Well, wow, fair
I
enough.
remember
Yeah.
that was like especially in the city. That was
Right.
always a
Yeah.
joke. Like
A
like how many
flasher.
cartoon strips had like a guy in a trench
Yeah,
coat
it's
going?
going down. Dude, yeah, you don't even hear about that shit anymore. You don't. I mean, you might hear about a guy, or well, most of the guys, because dudes are just fucking perverts.
Right.
But
It
if
was
you
a
hear
crazy
about
time.
them,
It really was.
well, no, even like today, like you would hear about them. They turn around, they're masturbating in the train, or on the
Oh,
bus
yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
and and like in front of a chick and whatnot.
Right, that's
saying
it,
that kind of stuff. Like you hear about that, but you don't hear about the flashers
flashing
like
thing
that
anymore.
and
I don't know. But we're gonna have to look into that and see if it's still
No,
that
happening.
was such
Oh,
a.
no.
I think it is.
Yeah,
It's sexual
Actually,
harassment is really.
Yeah,
I
right,
used
right.
to hear about that a lot. You're right. That was a weird thing.
Mhm.
It was a weird time. It really was.
Yeah,
When it came to like shit like that, there was a lot of
yeah.
really strange.
I wonder
Absolutely.
I wonder if it was, think about it, the boomers, everything for them was like, this is what it's got to be. This is where we're at. These are the way things have to, this is how life moves. You do these things. So then now when you're looking at the 60s and 70s, when people getting a little bit, finding themselves
Right.
and who they really are, guys and girls. You know
But
what I'm
I
saying?
think the show really captured that essence
Yeah.
in the just the crazy times that
You said the Wheelers,
Yeah.
bro, they were
They
fucking
did a good
gangster.
job on it.
Yeah.
They did. They
Yeah.
did very cars, the music, like you
Mhm.
said, the
Mhm.
Gen X,
Yep.
just the whole vibe, the way they did it.
Right.
It was great.
Yeah.
5 months.
So-
All right, yeah, it was great. So I think that was a show that, like, again, it really captured the 80s well.
Yeah.
And you never know. There might be other shows that like
A spinoff,
spinoffs from it that come out.
or they
Which
could
would be
show
interesting to see.
or they
Mhm.
could show a spinoff on how they started the whole program, because they could do a backtrack story, maybe take place in the 70s.
Or they could
'Cause-
make it where these kids, that later in the future, they wind up going into a certain area where they're investigating weird phenomenon and helping people out who are going kind of through the things they went through. Because now they have that experience.
Yeah.
But they
thing.
because
Yeah.
now remember, they were trying to restart the program. They were using the
Right.
blood
Mm-hmm.
and they were trying to restart. Now, all those pregnant women, what happened? They were in the upside down, so they died with the upside down, right?
Right. Or they got stuck in there,
could that be
whatever.
a loose end too? That like the pregnant women got out? Because here's the thing: like they were given Callie's blood.
Think of that.
They were given Callie's blood to the pregnant women, right?
Yes,
but like those women were very much in their 9th trimester. They don't need her blood anymore. You can have a premature baby at like 6 months.
Well,
so
right. Well,
so
again, but like you said, depending on where, like technically, like you're saying, depending on where they were.
Yeah,
you know.
But I'm pretty sure that was in the upside down, so I'm pretty sure they got deleted.
But because the upside down wasn't destroyed. The upside down, right?
That's what
it was. The tunnel, like I said, the
tunnel was the upside down.
That was the
right.
upside down.
Yeah.
That's why I remember where they were trying to
That
figure out that wall.
coming through that.
They thought like, there was something on the other side of the wall, but no, that was the edge.
That's right. Yes,
that was the edge of reality. That was the edge.
That's
and
right.
Had to have that crazy scene with all the plastic, like looked like
that was
plastic
the firmament
melting and
yes.
everything like that.
So then, yes.
I'm referencing Flat Earth. But it's the same reference technically. It's the edge of the
it's the end of the thing. So that then, they could, if they decided they want to do that. I hope they don't. You know, because I think it would just take away from all that we've already seen. You know, so many times that they've done that shit.
But they could do a prequel. They could show Henry's story. Because they really...
Well, that's true.
Where did that fucking stone come from? They didn't explain anything. It was just this weird stone that was in
he got from that guy in that briefcase.
But they don't... Like, what the hell is that thing?
Well, then they might do like...
Where did
that come from?
Right.
Where did that guy get it from?
But then that would be the way of a Star Wars thing, and that would be the animated series.
There you go.
Do that too. They could
be an animated series. I'm down for that.
You just tell the story because, like, there's a lot missing. Like, he got this stone, and then he got this power, and then the thing called to him, "Come to me," you know, which was the Vecna's voice.
And then he sucks that guy's eyes out of his head.
Was the voice of that spider, the giant spider thing,
right?
You know? So, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yes, so go ahead next.
So you know, from fictional loss to real loss.
Yes.
You know, we're going to talk about more serious topics. So. This is less humorous, you know. This is going to be about serious stuff. This is about, you know, euthanasia and pet loss, and maybe Luke can talk a little bit if he wants to.
Yeah,
I know this is a topic that is close.
Well, like you guys know already, this past Friday we had to let our Jeter go because he was suffering from lymphoma, and it was just getting to the point where we just didn't want him to suffer anymore, and that's as far as euthanasia was concerned. We had someone come to the house. It was a service. And we did it not only because we wanted it to be comfortable for us, but it was really more so for the other dogs too.
Right.
Because it helps them, because it's a kind of a shock when you take a dog that you know you got to help out, cross to the other side, Rainbow Bridge, all that stuff. But then when you come back and you don't have them with you anymore, it messes up the animals for quite a while, you know, till they fit in their own way, they work it out.
Right.
But like them, they're like us. As far as being able to have some kind of closure.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what's going on, and then they just go through the motions the same way. And the service that came was fantastic. It was probably, I will never do it I will never do it in a vet's office ever again. Doing it at home was the best thing.
It's better for the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. It's so much better. I mean, you know, and it's a good thing. You're home, you're comfortable, you get to grieve. These people are so professional. This woman who came, she was fantastic. I'm just glad it happened. The reason I think we bringing up the euthanasia thing is because we now know that it's becoming more common also not only with animals, but we're trying to start to do it more in this country.
With people.
With people. I know Governor Hochul just did something in reference to physicians being able to have permission to help someone cross. Now, it's a law. I'll look it up in a few minutes and I'll get the exact information. But that's really good. That's a good step forward.
Yeah, I think so.
Because, you know, when you think about it, right, we think, well, why is it okay for our animals, but why is it so bad for human beings? Human beings suffer tremendously from disease and things that they get, that they're going through life. Unfortunately, this happens. We get older, and if we can get through life with minor stuff happening, great, you know, but logically, something is going to come up where, you know, you might get cancer. This might happen, whatever it is. You're going to be at a point where your family is going to say, hey, we just want him to go peacefully. We don't want him to suffer anymore. We know there's no bringing them back. Let's just help them on their journey to get them to where they need to go. So they're at peace. And then you go through your grieving process, you know. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm still in the grieving process.
Yeah.
So for me, it's going to be a little while. And the dogs are too. I can see it when I can see it in Liberty. I can see the patient. They're kind of a little off. You can see certain things that they're doing that just don't, are not their normal. So you can see them looking and wondering, hey,
where is he?
Where is he? Even though they were there with the whole thing.
Right.
They're still going through the motions. So I think it's important for us to take care of ourselves. And I think death is not a bad thing, right? Think about it. As long as it, obviously, there's bad ways to die. Don't get me wrong. Obviously,
right.
But I'm saying it's something that's part of life that we need to be able to be comfortable talking about the same as we talk about everything else. So, I mean, how do you guys feel about that when it comes to that kind of stuff? You comfortable with that kind of stuff, or is that something you're not big on?
I think if someone is in pain and suffering and they are definitely going to die, euthanasia should be an option. I think instead of hospice, hospice is about making people comfortable on their last days. But what if you could just end it earlier and not suffer? If you're in immense pain,
right?
It just, to me, it doesn't make sense to want to stay alive and be in pain, especially and I'm going to real extremes here, but I'll give the example, and there's nothing they could do for the pain is when people who have radiation poisoning, we're talking about the Chernobyl. If you saw that Chernobyl a few years ago,
right?
They just felt the guys just falling apart on a cellular level, just literally just turning into goop.
Yeah, right.
And they can't even administer pain medication. It doesn't work. Just let the guy die.
Yeah.
Right. Just let him, let him move on. There's no reason to let someone suffer like that. It just makes no sense to me. That I think is a perfect example of someone who, accidentally got into radiation and now they're just dying because the radiation is breaking down their cells and they're just melting. That kind of why would you want to keep someone? Why make someone suffer?
It's the same with the cancers too.
Yes,
because what Jeter had,
late stage cancer. Yeah,
right.
I told you guys I had that. I was using ChatGPT from beginning to end with everything that was going on with him, and a lot of the stuff that the steps. Well, you're going to see this. He's going to go through that. In one point, once you start to see, for instance, he was starting to get uncomfortable where he couldn't get comfortable on anything. Whether it was the couch, the bed, the floor, he just kept getting up. And then from the medications and all the water and just the different things. And then you get to the point you're he's suffering.
Yeah, right.
Let him go.
Yep.
Let him go. Don't be selfish. And it's normal to feel that way because you don't want to lose him. You don't want to say, hey,
exactly.
I want to let you go. That's the hard part. But you're doing the right thing. As much as it hurts, it's part of the process.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you hope that someone your family, and you would do it, they'll do that for you or whoever else if they have their own pets and things like that. I think it's a natural thing. I think it's right. And, the grieving part is the hardest. I've gone through it a couple of times already with my other dogs. It's never easy. They're all different, but I'm going to miss them dearly, and it sucked. And I want to just share something. So what I did for him the day that we let him go, sorry. Right. I took him for a walk, his last walk. He couldn't make it for the last 3/4 of the walk all the way around the block. Sorry, guys.
That's so good. Go ahead.
So I picked him up. I told him, I got you. Picked him up. He didn't growl. He wasn't uncomfortable. He's just looking around. And I would walk him. I walked him the whole way around. Brought him home. Because you want to make that last part for them. That's what they have in their head. Nothing traumatic, nothing bad, right? For anybody, right? Even your family. You want it to be whatever memories you have. You want to give them that last moment, feeding them the same time as you always do. You don't change nothing. You keep going through the motions.
Right.
So I apologize for getting emotional.
No sorries.
But I wanted everything to, he was just not aware of anything. And he was just going through a normal day, every day, and not to change it, but I was there for him.
Right.
And he needed to go up the stairs. I brought him up. You know what I mean? And you just try to do all the right things, and you hope that someone does the same for you, and your kids do the same for their animals and things like that, and so on. So, it's a lesson too in life. No matter how much we think we're good with something,
right,
and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, you're never going to get past the emotional part when there's a connection with somebody or something that you have.
1,000,000%.
It's just gonna affect you, and that's okay. And you have to go through those steps and those process. It's just what it is. Whether it's somebody in your family or an animal, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think euthanasia is something that should be more available. Like other countries, I think like this. I don't know them off the top of my head, but there are other countries on the globe that do this.
Sure,
it's
a lot
not
of
a
European
big
countries.
for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's only here, because we're so caught up in our own shit.
Right.
Everything's politicized.
Right, exactly. It's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's a normal thing. But in other places, it's okay. If you decide, you say, you know what, I'm in pain, I don't want to do that, and you can make the decision.
Mm-hmm.
See, you're still bodily able, and you're able. And if they give you the okay, you go ahead and do it.
Right.
Which is fantastic, I think.
Right. Oh, yeah, no, it is.
As long as it's not for like stupid shit where you're just taking advantage of it. Like, I'm sure there's a process, right? That they like, oh, you don't feel good today? All right, you feel like you want to just,
Oh, yeah, no. Right. No, it's the physical, not the mental.
They're not going to let you end your life for...
Right.
Yeah, because you're having, a mental breakdown or whatever I'm saying.
Like,
you know
basically,
what I mean?
like you're going to die.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like if I didn't... I don't have any pets now, but if I had a pet that it was on their last days, you know what I feel like I would do for them? I would give, how like, when you're eating dinner and they're always begging for whatever food that he was always, or she was always begging for, I give them that food. I'd make it for them. I want a cheeseburger.
Yeah, you got this cheeseburger
and fries.
Eat the shit out of that
we did that with the
cheeseburger.
chicken we had left over from Christmas Eve.
It's like,
we had the fondue
let
stuff.
them have it. It's the last days. It's not going to harm them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We took all the raw chicken, cooked it up, whatever we had left over.
Yeah.
And we cooked it up, and then I had it, and I was putting it on all of their food.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want it,
Right, yeah.
Right? Because we think the other dogs will get upset. They don't think like us.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's a whole other fucking story. But I gave him majority because I want him as much protein as he possibly had.
Right.
And he was still eating. That was the one thing I have to say.
Yeah, he was
still eating and wanting to eat.
Right.
So we were using pumpkin to help him with the medication because he loved pumpkin. He just take it. He wasn't even thinking about it. It was on the spoon. Boom. Took it.
Right.
Like, boom.
You can let them enjoy for once a piece of chocolate.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, here, you can
check this out. Yeah.
Right.
No, they'd probably be pissed off. What the hell is the rest of it?
You've been
give me the shit. You mother son of a... Give me my shit.
Right.
Give me that chocolate. I want a Reese's.
Certain things that, you can give them certain things without worrying about them getting sick about it so they can enjoy it, have that last, because they love,
And you would do that. You would do that. Like my brother and I kidded around once. We were talking. So Lou, something came up, and I think he asked me. It might have been him, but let's just say it was my brother. Would you give Dad, even though he didn't smoke for a long time and he was on his deathbed, and let's say he said, I would give. I said I give. Not only would I give him a fucking cigarette, it would be a Camel's.
Yeah.
And I give him a fucking beer, and I drink one with him.
Hell yeah.
Because what's going to happen?
Right.
Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, he's going.
Mm-hmm.
Let him go fucking some dignity and fucking have him enjoy the thing. Say, hey, listen, it's not going to kill me.
It's not going to matter. Yeah, it's already over. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I think what you're saying is absolutely true. I think that's the right thing to do.
And the other thing I was thinking now, and this is the reason why euthanasia should be allowed, is because you're allowed to pull the plug on somebody. Why can't you let someone assist them? Because they're dying.
So what you're saying now, just by what you're saying, right? Believe people subconsciously, heartfelt. We all are hoping for that last minute Hail Mary that there's a cure.
Oh, they're gonna pull
through.
What I mean? But
there's a cure. Like I can get this shot tomorrow morning, and I'm gonna be cured of cancer by the end of the week. Like it's always that.
Yeah, I know
that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you
got
in
that
your
hope.
head, hope is always there.
Right. So that then, and I get it and I understand, but when you're not the one in the pain, you know what I'm saying? When you're not the one suffering, it's easy to come up with all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I made the jokes, like for me personally, I made the jokes because having arthritis that I'm like, oh my God, make me a cyborg.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So this what all I got to do is get some grease, some oil in that bitch, and I can go. But there's no pain. You know what I'm saying? The pain when it happens is fucking real. I'm not comparing my pain of arthritis to, anybody with cancer and going through the chemo, whatever. I'm not comparing at all. Right. I'm just saying just the thought process. Yeah. For me right now, if I had that kind of money, would be me getting, just adamantium freaking, bones and joints and shit. You know what I mean? I'm going to be like Wolverine and just have metal skeleton. You know what I mean? I think that's why people want to hold on, because you never know what could happen in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
What could happen tomorrow afternoon. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why, just going by what what you said, that might be what it is. But yeah, we ran a little long today, bro.
Yeah, well, hang out.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Real quick, just so you know, I just want to read something about Governor Hochul. So Governor Kathy Hochul signed several bills, laid physician assistant PAs into New York law, primarily in late 2024. These laws have modernized PA practices, standards, and expanded their roles to improve healthcare and access. Key bills signed, and so it just goes through some of the bills.
Right.
One of them was to be the physician to be able to help that person with, crossing over.
Right, yeah. Well, remember back, real quickly too, remember back when there was a movie with Eric Roberts, It's My Party? I don't know if you guys ever seen it or heard of it. So it was It's My Party, and he was dying. He knew he was. But before he got too sick to function,
right,
he was having his party, his goodbye party. So he had all his friends and family over, and he had that nifty big-ass party in his house. And at the end of the night, he was going into the room, and then he was going to be, he was taking the meds or whatever to
so he was
help him pass.
Take his own life?
Yeah, before he got so bad where he was too frail to be able to function.
Yeah.
And he didn't want anybody to see him be that kind of frail.
Right.
You know what I mean? To
Right.
be that kind of, like, just lack of a better word, that kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Well,
He wanted everybody to see and remember him. Oh my God, the last party we had with him, he was bugging out. We drank, we had a ball.
Well, I remember.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 1 second. Can you mind?
No. Yeah.
So in Star Trek, I think it was Star Trek 5, where Spock's brother is able to make you see things, help you go through certain things.
yes.
Right?
Yes.
So McCoy was, the one scene is where McCoy with his dad, and his dad was dying. His father kept asking him, release me. He's like, I can't do that, Dad.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And then he kept intervening, Cyborg talking to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, why did you? Because he was in pain. I had to let him go. But then that wasn't the worst. He's like, no, because later on they found a cure.
Right.
So now he's twisted.
Yes.
Because I just let my father die.
Yes.
But then later on, like a couple months later or whatever it was, they came out with a cure.
Right.
So that's the whole thing. You can't do that to yourself, because if it's not present, you got to do what you got to do.
There you go.
Man. You know what I mean? You just got to help those people along. And it's the humane thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah. I'm with you. What were you going to say, Tom?
Yeah, what were you going to say?
No. It wasn't important. I forgot. It's okay. It wasn't. So
yeah.
But we're doing a wrap up now. So yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah.
So we talked about some interesting stuff. We talked about some really wild stuff happening locally in the grave robbing. We recapped Stranger Things, and we talked about some serious topic like euthanasia. So
yes.
So very important is to please, if you can, hit that subscribe button.
Yes. I thought you're going to go something a little bit deeper. Like, yes.
Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, of course.
Yes.
YouTube, hit that subscribe, and
please,
you want your comments for sure.
Yeah, and we're hoping that you can leave some comments, drop some comments.
Absolutely.
And also, our next episode, take it away, Lou.
we're going to have Zoe on. All right.
Yeah.
She's a young lady that I know who is a playwright, and she will be on Friday. Zoe graduated with a bachelor's of fine arts in dramatics. She came out dramatic arts from NYU Tisch School of the Arts. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This summer, I'll read this again when we do the episode.
Yeah, of course.
The play is called Dirt, and we will go over that play with her and how she got it and what it means and why she wrote it. And there was a couple other ones we're going to share too as well that she sent me.
Cool.
So we'll go over that well. So it's going to be interesting to
sit with
her. She's good people,
good shit,
down to earth, young lady. I think it's going to be a good interview.
Yeah, definitely will be. Yeah. For sure. For shizzle, my nizzle.
Yeah.
So with
that being said, bitches.
Thank you everybody for listening, watching. Like the guy said, like, follow, subscribe, all the other good stuff. Love, peace, and hair grease.
Live long and prosper.
And we'll see you again.
Holla.